Today's Super Monday, tomorrow's Super Tuesday, as the White House hopefuls are making the most of just 23 hours, Gretch, before the polls open.
And the time is counting. Republican presidential candidate Mike Huckabee is live for us in Chattanooga this morning, along with his famous backer, martial arts expert Chuck Norris. Good morning to both of you, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Governor, I imagine that you're going to be using that Super Bowl analogy all throughout your stump speech today. The Giants win, the underdogs, and here comes Mike Huckabee, the underdog, right?
Well, why not? I mean, you beat me to it, but absolutely. You know, you look at the fact that everybody had already put up their, world champion Patriot posters, and gosh, it didn't quite work out like that. I think this election is more fluid than people think. I've got a lot of strong support across this country, and particularly among people who feel like that there needs to be a president who represents just the small business owner, the people that are struggling every day to keep the government off their back so they can raise their own families, run their own businesses, get this incredibly complicated tax system off their necks, and they know that I'm the guy that's championing that for them.
As you look, Governor, at the polls, of course, it looks as if at this point, and remember their polls and polls have been wrong in the past, it looks like John McCain is across the country, nationwide, up almost 20%. I know there are some states where you are leading. Is that your formula to the White House right now, is to do well tomorrow just to stay in the race?
Well, sure. I mean, until somebody gets 1,191 delegates, there is not a nominee. And so it's a little premature to spike the ball in the end zone and go to the locker room because the game ain't over yet. And the fact is, nobody has 1,191 votes. They're not going to have them after tomorrow. And so this game is still going until somebody locks it up. It's easy to quit. The hard part is to stay in there and keep fighting. And, it's very important for people to understand that only 8% of the delegates have even been selected. 92% have not. So let's wait until after tomorrow. Then we'll talk about if somebody has all the delegates they need to be the nominee.
All right, I'm going to turn to the tough guy for a minute. Not that you're not tough, Mike, but I'm going to turn to Chuck Norris. The governor talks about getting the government off of the backs of people. You have been working very hard to keep the other candidates off the back of Mike Huckabee. What is it about the governor that you still believe in today?
Well, I believe in all the message that he's giving to the people, which he has stated many times. But I just want the people who are going into the polls tomorrow to think about this. If they don't want a Democratic president next year, they got to think, okay, who is the person who can out-debate Obama or Hillary? Who has the communication skills and the articulation to get in there and out-debate those two? And believe me, I firmly believe that Mike Huckabee is the only one that could out-debate those two next year. And then when they make that mark tomorrow, they've got to think about that. Who can beat the Democrats next year? And I believe Mike Huckabee is the only one that can beat them next year. So put that X next to Huckabee tomorrow.
All right. And Governor, before you go, the Holiday Inn Express has put out a little fact guide about how much the various candidates have spent on the road in hotels. And according to their calculations, so far, sir, you have spent probably $41,000 on hotel stays. However, you could have saved $18,000 had you stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. Your comment, sir?
Probably stayed on city park benches, which we almost did a few times because our budget was so tight.
You didn't see the hotels we've been staying in?
We stayed in one. Yeah, I got to tell you, this is true.
No room service.
Yeah, room service.
It's been very economical.
Cheese and crackers. I stayed in one. This is true in Houston. I won't tell you the name of it. It was so bad. I called my wife and I said, I'm the only guy in this hotel that has sleeves on his shirt and is not completely tattooed from head to toe. It was that bad.
And my wife and I have been eating canned soup in our rooms. That's
all right, guys. The true story from the campaign trail. Thanks for joining us this morning, and good luck to everyone tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks a bunch.
Thanks a lot.
All right, moving on.
I've been in that hotel.
You in the one in Houston? I've been in several like that myself, but more cities than just Houston. Coming up on the show, investigators. Oh, what?
Can you imagine? You're in that hotel and you're saying, you look through the window and you go, if I didn't know any better, I would swear that Chuck Norris and his wife were eating out of a soup can in the next room.
Okay, coming up on the show, investigators.